champions Adrenaline versus the benevolent underdogs Rocky Mountain Esports, but only one team could rise and one had to fall.
CT here, but Tyler C's quick on the flank, and Wizard goes down. Abyss lies in Adrenaline's hands, rather. But as this flank through Garage comes through, Mr. Seed is quick to respond in the 1v2 situation for him, as he can't overcome Mr. Seed. He is the hero that RME need. Oh, this defuse is being stuck, but Keyline with the spam manages to get two, but they know that Tyler C is wrapping Garage. Haven is RME's. They are right back into this grand final. It has to be a stick from Nemesis. The showstopper pop, and it will secure the round for RME. Running low on time, and Wizard close to the smut is gonna pop out and deny the plant. RME shut down the comeback and managed to avoid overtime to secure the bind map. Could try and find some value. Oh my god, Rudy Rojos, you are an animal! Mr. Seed goes down, so Nemesis, what do you have? You have victory for us as he gets another kill. It's all down to Minty, and the time is half gone. RME look to put it away here. They look to crown themselves as the champions of the Honeydew Summer Showdown. Nemesis will finish it off, and in the throes of defeat, RME claimed they would never lose again, and they make good on that promise.
Rocky Mountain Esports rose as champions over the Junkies of Adrenaline, but soon after, the Madness took over the showdown, and another team rose up to conquer this corrupted realm, and that team was Blind Penguin Gaming. They conquered that madness in a thrilling 5-game series to send Boba Ball lovers back into the shadows, but they rose one more time to finish what they started.
And they think he's coming in for the back, but he gets blind anyways, and they're up clear the corner! Oh, there's no way! God! Now he finally spots him, but the stun comes through, but she can't get out of it, and the antagonist will clean up the 13-5, and that's the first map of this grand final. All these players are just so talented, and Timmy Fish is gonna die, and Bushy will secure Boba their first map in the grand final. From the back, able to find one as Tofu finds the second. Tooney trying to answer back, saying as much as he can. He finds 1, 2, 3, 4, and Bushy is in a 1v1 clutch. Low HP on antagonist, time so low. Bushy wins it out, but Cooney with the shots. I mean, Omion doesn't know this. He has the spam. The spam is coming through, and it's gonna be Novaz to secure. As Boba and he gets the res. Fiori gets taken down, and Jigglytofu gets 3 with a beautiful spray transfer all of the Timmy Fish, and Jigglytofu picks up his 40 Cooney with one ball. The showstopper's going through. Showstopper's gonna be able to find one. Cooney gets taken out by Clays. Fiori in this Viper's pit has to make everything happen if he wants to save his team, and he only has a bucket to work with. Antagonist with the Odin, he put all his money into it, every single marble, and the spam is going to come through from the side. It's not going to be able to quite connect onto anyone yet, and he's going to have to reload. This Viper's pit is not proving useful as Jigglytofu takes out Timmy Fish. It's all up to Fiori with the classic, and it's not enough. Boba have done it. They have finals and MVSK madness.
But where there's redemption, there are people who are ready to rise up to the occasion, people who are ready to take on the challenges. So prepare yourself, newcomers, because the crown of champions is back on the market, and there's only one team who can win it all in Mask Madness Season 4.
I'm sweeping on. Oh my god.
Good at attacking these as oh my god, what a shot by Soul Labor with a triple kill! What a kill!
Nice.
calm down. With you again. Still pressing.
Oh,
Just
dang.
fuck them all up.
Zex gets one of his own. He
Oh
gets the second.
my god!
The steel guard goes.
Oh!
Zex gets it.
Tyler C is trying to equalize this, and he'll do just allow all of Army to push forward and get these kills. It's all
Oh my god!
Brayden Hippo. Can you find one will? Find the second. What a triple kill for Brayden Hippo. Can you find the nexus? Boy, he's sticking for now. Doesn't know where Brayden Hippo is. Can you clutch out the round? Oh, won't find the kill just yet. But with the right hook, what a clutch for.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Mask Madness Season 4 Group Draw Show. I am Rhodes, joined with the Mask Madness owner, Steph and Dylan, going to be streaming this today. Steph, we are here for the biggest Mask Madness we have ever had. 18 teams coming into this one. How are you feeling as we approach the date coming up very soon?
Honestly, this is really crazy. I didn't think that we'd get such a large turnout. We actually ended up going over the initial cap of what we were going to have for the season because we had so much interest, which is really cool. And that meant that we had to, kind of change up the format here a little bit
Just a little
for
bit.
our fourth season being the biggest one that we have.
Yeah, and it is quite the big one. Of course, we are keeping it still similar weeks than we have in the past. We will have those 9 games for each participant since there is going to be 18 teams. And for the first time ever, we are doing a group draw in general. We used to just have all teams play each other once, but now we have 2 separate groups. And this is going to be quite an interesting thing to see who gets into each group and who has to verse each other.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We have some really strong teams here and a lot of familiar faces kind of intermixed in between all of the rosters here too.
Yeah, 100%. And before we do get into it, I will just say every single team that is going to be on this wheel before we do end up spinning is going to be Mass Spades, which this tournament knows and loves. Rozo Vanguard, Team Momo, Noxalis, the Robloxians, Tethered Esports, Sold, Gingy Squad, Elliptics, Rozo Ido, Betrayed Ember, Black Flash, The Loneliest Poets, Soul Unit, Optimus Bagus, Bryn's Game Academy, Vespra, and WHAT Gaming. I probably should have asked how to
I
say
think
these names because we're going to be
I
butchering
think
names a lot.
I know. I was gonna say I'm gonna totally butcher it right here live on stream, but every time I see their name, I pronounce it Wagot Gaming.
We can just do that for now, I guess, until people tell us
Yeah, I
otherwise.
mean,
But
like, what else? What else? That's how we're gonna go.
yeah, and so the season, I believe, also will be starting next week on the 12th of January, if I am correct. And yeah,
Yes.
we have a long road ahead of us. So let us get to our very first wheel spin here for Mask Madness Season 4. Who will be joining Group A to begin everything here? Let's spin that wheel. Who will be going into it? It is going to be Team Vespra here, a new
Yeah,
team
going into
coming
Team
into this.
A.
Yeah, it's a new team as well. I actually know the captain of the team. They couldn't give me much because they are a newer team, but it's a new org and they're coming in with fresh potential here. So I don't really know much about how they're going to be able to play, but I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to be able to do in this tournament.
I love it when we get new teams here that into the league as well. It's always really good experience for new players to get into here for the first time as well.
100%. And we will see who our next team is. It's going to be going into Group B here because we're going to get that flip-floppy type transition. So I'm intrigued to see what else we're going to get. And yeah. It's going to
Yeah, we
be...
got Wagot Gaming for the first team of Team B.
Yeah, and I believe they come from the CSK League. At least that is what we know them from. They weren't able to make playoffs in that league in general, but again, it's a bit of a newer team in my experience. But I believe you know one of the players that is quite potentially exciting.
Yeah, so Reality is really good friends with the IGL of Mask Spade. So we've talked a bit and we've been, around them. We've played them in the CSK League and we're really excited to have them again here in Mask Madness and potentially see, a revenge matchup here.
Could definitely be interesting, but we got our two teams now, and now this is where things get interesting stuff because we're gonna get another team in Group A, and we'll see who we're finally gonna get for matchups. Of course, the seeding isn't made; you'll have to do that after, but this is where everything ultimately does begin. And it is going to be Jinji's squad coming in here, a team that we know quite a few players from. Of course,
Hmm.
Pregnant Hippo and Z played last season, where they had a very dominant regular season on Tactic Bears. Weren't able to get it done as they were upsetted by the eventual grand finalist Vessel X. But Pregnant Hippo, also known as Zai, was a runner-up for MVP in that regular season as well. So a lot of hopes bring into the squad, I assume.
I'm really excited to see this team take on a new look. They were formerly known as the Tacta Bears, and since they were so powerful the first time that that they were into the league, I'm really excited to see what they bring to us on this next showing of the roster.
Now let's spin that wheel for our second team here in Group B. What else do we got on our plates? Oh, baby. It
And it
is.
looks like we got Tethered Esports.
I know Tether Esports from Boba Bash. A lot of Boba Bash teams coming in here, but Tether Esports is going to be one of your fan favorites. It was the fan favorite in Boba Bash, where this is a team kind of made up of family. It is a dad and his son, and I believe his brother as well. So I'm very intrigued to see what they're going to be able to do here in Mass Madness. They weren't able to make playoffs in Boba Bash, but it is going to be very exciting to see them play once more.
Hmm.
We head back to Group A. Oh, I know this team.
Oh. Okay, well, so unfortunately, I guess that revenge match between Spades and Wagat Gaming would potentially have to wait until the playoffs if both teams were going to make it there. Mass Spades, that's my team, those are my babies. They've been working really hard here in the off season to potentially, bring in their first set of playoffs as a roster. We just had a roster change and everything too, so everything's feeling really fresh and everything. So, I'm really excited to watch this roster in particular. Even though they're under my org, and see where they're going to place this time as we just finished up the CSK League, unable to make playoffs there. And Mask Spades or Honeydew, as you like to call them, has particularly struggled in on the home playing ground. So I'm hoping that this is a little bit of a redemption for us as an org as well.
Hey, you guys did make playoffs in season one, but so did
That is,
everyone else.
that is true. Yeah, that is true.
But that is a very interesting thing because you guys have to go up against Pregnant Hippo and Z as well. That will be a
Hmm.
fun match to see once more. But I guess we'll see who else does match with Spades. Hopefully, some more players that played in the last season. But let's go back to the wheel and see what we got for Group Two or Group B, where things could shape up very interesting. We're gonna get another player that we all know, love, and love. I guess you could say it is gonna be Noxalis, but led by Chud Light, also known as Soul Aimer or DVN, had the regular season MVP in season 3, went absolutely crazy. And I have gotten some information as well. They will be playing a different agent instead of that Cypher that we all watched last season. But yeah, he had a lights out performance, got their team to third in the playoffs, but just could not bring it home. Any more thoughts on Noxus in general?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to hear that they're potentially taking on a different look this time around. I remember DVN was or Soul Aimer was very a very scary opponent to play against, and I'm just gonna say, prayers for everyone in Group B.
It's going to be quite an interesting time, but let's head back to Group A here, see what Spades, Gingy, and Vespra have to look forward to. No Roso teams have been pulled until now. It is going to be Roso Vanguard. ZRZ is going to be captaining that one. Recently led a Roso team to the Boba Bash Grand Finals, but unfortunately they lost in 4 games by Betrayed Ember. And I do wonder what they're going to be able to put up. It is a different roster than I've seen before, but I mean, Rosa teams generally have always been quite competitive in general.
Mhm. Yeah, Rosa's a good friend of us here at Mask. I'm very happy to have two of their teams here in Mask Madness, and I'm really excited to see how they're going to compete here. Um, Rose, how do you feel about potentially getting both Rosa groups in one group?
I would love that. Unfortunately, actually, yeah, that would be absolutely amazing. But there's a technically secret third Roso team in Betrayed Ember. It used to be Roso Void and
Oh.
Boa Bash, and there was a bit of a rivalry between all of the teams. It used to be Roso Paradox versus Roso uh, Void versus I forget the last one. But either way, I would love to see these teams fighting each other. But for right now, I mean, it is going to be extremely interesting to see what Vanguard will be able to do in that Group A. But let us get to our next team. Going back to Group B, it is shaping up to be quite the draft so far.
Mhm.
We have
Team
sold
4.
sold another team that participated in Boba Bash, formerly Atrocity Knights. Now we'll see what they can do. Is they did have quite the interesting above average regular season there. They weren't able to do too much in playoffs as they were limited by Mask wildcards. So maybe a bit of rivalry there. Unfortunately, they're on the opposite side of the bracket, but I mean, it definitely team to keep your eye on as Mindless, one of the better players I saw in that tournament, and one of I would say the front runners to win the best duelist award because we may be doing a award show once more at the end of the season. But I would
Mhm.
definitely keep your eye on this team.
Alright, going back to Group A. Black Flash for Group A here. This is another one of the more unknown teams, I think, here in Mask Madness Season 4. They are coached though by one of the players formerly on Tactibears.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they're going to be able to do. And yeah, of course, we do know Noi from Tacta Bear is doing very good. But now in the coach role, it's going to be something to see what Black Flash can do as a potential pug team. And we know how hit or miss pug teams can be. So I'm very intrigued to see what an unknown team can do in this tournament, as anything can really go.
Mhm. Oh, we've got for Group B, we've got Soul Unit. So both of the Soul Unit org teams are actually in the same group.
Yeah, and it is going to be quite interesting to see as we're kind of at the halfway point, and it is quite intriguing. Let's pull up the groups right now, just at the halfway point. Right now in Group A, we do indeed have Vespra, Gingy Squad, Mass Spades, Roso Vanguard, and Black Flash. In the second group of Group B, we got Gaming, Tethered Esports, Noxilus, Soul, and Soul Unit. So, I mean, a same org rivalry is kind of sick.
Mhm.
What
All right, back
else
to
can we
spinning
do?
for team. Is this back to Team A? I think, yeah.
I believe it's Team A, yeah. Spin that wheel.
Oh, so close.
But so far.
We got the Loneliest Poets joining us in Team A, Group A, sorry. This is another team from the Chaos Seekers League that just played. They made it to playoffs and actually advanced through their first matchup before falling out, inevitably losing, and I think taking, what was that, 6th place in the playoffs? They are a good team, another one to look out for, and I'm really excited to see them again.
Yeah, I do love their name as well. Loneliest Poets is probably one of my favorite names coming into this tournament in general. But either way, yeah, being able to make playoffs in general, and maybe looking for redemption to make it further here in Mass Madness, it's going to be a tall hill to climb. But I'm very excited to see as we're going to head back to Group B. What do we got going here? Quite an interesting group so far, that is for sure. We got the sold teams and maybe something else. What is going on? And oh, it is a juggernaut of a team coming in here. If you know a lot of these players from previous season, it is Team Momo. Has Abby returning with a team of potential all-stars, former Madness Season 2 winner, Peng, one of the best duelists of last season, Zex, now going by Rocky Road, and a fellow caster I've worked with, Gizmo, and we will see how they are going to be able to play. I believe you also know another player on that team as well.
Yeah, their fifth player is actually the owner of Project Alliance, and I have never actually had the pleasure of seeing him play, and I am very excited to see him play and see how this team works out. They are obviously a really, really strong team. Um and they were a favorite of mine actually in season 3 to make it to the top, inevitably falling out to maybe the Steph curse, so we can put it there, but we're gonna hope that, this time I want to see a really good running out of this roster.
Let's just say you do not want Steph picking your team for first place in the pick'ems. Let's just say that right there. But now let us get to the latter half here. I believe 6 teams remain. We're heading back to Group A. Who will be joining these juggernauts like Mass Spades to try and verse them out? Will we get another Rozo? Does not believe so.
Mhm.
It is going to be Robloxians.
Yeah, the Robloxians are another team that we don't have a lot of information on. They did participate in our Mask Monthly event back in, I believe it was October. Um and they do regularly play Premiere, so we can expect, some probably pretty decent play from them, but I've never had the pleasure of like really see them in like tournament play or anything like that aside from the couple Mask Monthly matches that they played.
Yeah, we'll definitely see how they are going to be able to perform in a bit of a longer tournament in general. But yeah, another team, kind of a veteran team, I guess, coming back into Mask Madness this time. We'll be entertained to see as we head to Group B. I mean, I don't know who really is the favorite in these groups right now. I feel like a lot of these groups have quite the good teams in general, and we'll see if we can get some more good ones. And it's going to be Rozo
Oh,
heading to the other side of the bracket. We will not get that Rozo matchup that we all would have loved. And yeah, I'm gonna butcher this name again. I apologize.
so Aido,
Rozo Aido.
Aido, 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 yeah, well,
Yeah, we're great at this, but yeah, it's another one of the another Rozo team coming essentially from Boa Bash. Aido coming with some playoff caliber players that made it to grand finals, like previous player we've mentioned before, and they are definitely able to bring the distance. They have some new players coming into it, and they do want to get some potential revenge here against a certain team as well. I forget what team
I
they
do
are on. I'd have to look real quick,
I just want to
but
point out the Twitch chat is kind of feeding us all sorts of different things. We have Edo, Edo, Aido, Ado, Idor. Like, hello.
as you
They're
can tell, we're great
people
at
kind of
this.
trolling us a little bit here, but you know what? We're just gonna go with it.
Yeah, they definitely want some revenge against a potential betrayed Ember team where they did take home that first place in Boa Bash. But we'll see because either of these Rosa teams can potentially look to get revenge on them as we go back to Group A. 4 teams remaining in this draw. And
Yep.
we'll figure out how this all looks to end. Our next one is Optimus Bagus, I believe, is what they want us to say. I believe another Pug team, or not Pug team, but a team that's a bit of unknown to us. We don't really have too much information, I believe, but I'm sure they are quality players. I'm excited to see what they will be able to do and how they are going to be able to affect the rest of this tournament.
Once again, I'm always really excited to see teams that we've never really had here in Mass Madness, and hope they get a good experience in here, and then they become a returning team for us. I just want to point out that we have some really strong teams left for those last 3 on the wheel here.
Scary teams.
Yeah,
Very scary teams.
yeah.
Group B, what do you have coming in? Because there is no easy team left, I would say, in general. I mean, I wouldn't say any team's easy, but there is definitely some scary teams coming in. And one that, again, we don't know anything about Bryn's Academy, unfortunately. But again, I mean,
Mhm.
same thing for the last Optimus. We just have, it's going to be quite an interesting to see what they can prove coming into this. An unknown team, unknown potential, and unknown potential power that can really just make them maybe a bit of underdogs coming into this because not much of us, or at least the casters, some other casters might, but at least some of us don't know exactly what kind of things they bring to the table. But I'm just very intrigued to see what they will be able to do.
Now, if I'm one of the players watching this right now and I'm looking at that wheel, I don't think either way I'd be really happy about which team is getting into my group because we have Elliptics, who is made up of pretty much the core of what was previously known as Revitalize, who were runners up in season 1 and then also put on a good showing for us in season 3, this previous season, along with Betrayed Ember, who believe you said won Boba
Yep.
Bash. Yes,
Yeah.
I'd be scared no matter which way this is looking at. We've got two really strong teams left on the board for us.
Very, very crazy. And let's see who's heading to Group A to really fight these. I really want to see a fun matchup here. And it looks like it is going to be Betrayed Ember joining
Wow,
the
I
other
am
Roseau
lit.
Vanguard here in Group A. And yeah, like we kind of said, they won Boba Bash just a while
Mhm.
ago last month. And I mean, they know how to win. They won the regular season. They went absolutely crazy. But I will say, their potential supposed hard carry for their team is no longer on that roster. So maybe there's some question marks, maybe there's some not, but either way, this team is definitely one to beat.
Yeah, and then obviously we have Elliptics automatically making their way over into Group B. Yay! Spin the wheel! Yay! Elliptics to Group B once again, made up of a really big core from Revitalized, previously known as Revitalized. We've got Tyler C, and then Sparkies.
And a couple other.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, a couple there, yeah.
but yeah, Sparky's was actually one of the best, if not the best duelist last season as well. Was actually just behind Fossey in the best duelist category. And we're actually getting no Boba players this season, which does make me sad. But either way, I mean, this is a very scary team that has a very good controller, which I believe Cup Holder was. They have Tyler Seed with that knowledge, and Sparky's taking on the helm as that captain. I mean, this entire group stage is absolutely crazy. And do you have any more thoughts on it?
No, I'm actually really excited. I think these groups are very well. I think we actually for a random draw, we ended up with two really good groups for all of the teams here. We've got some really strong groups in every single team, and I think that this is going to be really exciting for all of the players here to have a bunch of different types of opponents and a bunch of different teams that have all these different play styles and have different strengths that we've all seen here, and that going into this season, it's going to be a really exciting time. No matter what week it is, no matter what matchup it is, that there's going to be something like really exciting happening on the playing grounds for us.
Yeah, it is very nice to see. And just before we close out here, let me just re-go through all of the teams in this group. In Group A, Vespra, Gingy Squad, Mass Spades, Roseau Vanguard, Black Flash, The Loneliest Poets, The Robloxians, Optimus Bigus, and Betrayed Ember. In Group B, we got Wagat Gaming, Tethered Esports, Noxalis, Soul Unit, Team Momo, Roseau Ido, Burns Academy, and Elliptics. Thank you all for watching this draw show today. From everyone at Mask Madness, we will see you for Mask Madness Season 4 in just a week, January 12th. We'll see you soon.